Hey guys, Reown the Rojko here with another update on the Terranum role-playing game. I apologize, I think my mic is starting to go bad, so I might have to invest in a new one. So if it comes out missing a word or two here or there, it's probably because my mic's gone. But, where was I at here? Yes, with Terra Arcanum. So I did finish all of the core classes, as I'm calling them for now, which is to say all the classes that don't involve mixing and matching multi-class type stuff. So I'm feeling really confident there. I got to kind of put the pages together and in order and sort things out. But the hard part is more or less done. The classes are put together. I'm counting that as a win. Um, Here I redesigned, or I should say redesigned, but I rebalanced a lot of the weapons and armor because as I was crunching some numbers the other day, I would notice that some of the weapons were just downright useless and completely irrelevant, and some of the armor was capable of making many of those weapons completely irrelevant. So rescaled a bunch of them, rebalanced there. Hope that'll help anything. Hope that'll help when it comes to the early access slash alpha that I'd like to move this into. Glad I caught it now though, and horrible. You guys seeing how bad some of that stuff was when I had released it as is. Holy crap! When I started crunching those numbers, like, oh, something's gone really bad here. Um, I did minor amounts of work on the spell list. That's kind of the next big object I have to tackle. That, and I also want to make the crafting table, drugs and toxin table. Drug and toxins are primarily for the adept class, which once we learn more about that, it'll make more sense what that's all about. But all three, the mage, the techie, and adept, all rely on a kind of tertiary resource, we could say. Not really a tertiary, all of them, but they all rely on kind of an extra resource. Mages use their spells. They don't really get a lot of cool talents like the other classes do. Instead, they rely on their spells to be cool. The techie has their craft table, which lets them scrape together different scrap. And there's this huge table I've gone into to help explain how a techie can scavenge around for parts that they can use to create their own makeshift weapons. Little fire bombs, firework, just fun stuff for them to do to help them feel a little bit more unique. They need to make their table out because they have different crafts they have to work on. And then the drugs and toxins table is again more for the adept, where they use drugs and toxins are kind of their not really their fighting style. Maybe like for one specific branch of that class uses the drugs and toxins to help them out, but it's mostly just something they have access to. It can help them, like certain drugs can help them be a more efficient healer. Other times they can be a more efficient DPS machine. It depends on how you're going to use it. But they use the drugs and toxins efficiently and designed to use them more than the other classes are. That actually brings up a good point. Now that I think about it here, I kind of want to maybe do an overview at some point coming up here of each one of the different classes. Talk about what makes them each unique and kind of their play styles. Each one is supposed to have kind of multiple different ways in which you play it. Some are more combat focused, like the warrior has 3 different manners in which you kind of get around in combat, whereas something like the sneak has 3 different methods of play, such as the rogue here, which is more about breaking and entering, looting tombs. They're a dungeoneering or maybe even like a like a thief type of thing, like a burglar, trying to more of a urban setting thief versus a Indiana Jones type of character, I guess is the best way to say it. Then they have like a more combat focused branch, like the assassin tree that they can work on if they want to be more combat focused. Or there's the what's currently under the name Cracker. They're like safe cracker. I don't know why safe cracker doesn't really make sense. Honestly, that would make more sense for the thief. But again, all names are change. But like that tier, the cracker as it's known right now, is designed to be more of a social engineer. They're supposed to be able to get into places they wouldn't normally be able to get into without like stealthing. They just kind of like walk in. They blend in with the crowd. They just kind of no one really suspects them type of thing. It's supposed to, I don't know, hard to explain, I guess. I hope social engineer kind of says it all, but that's kind of their play style. So again, each class is plays a little bit differently. Some are more combat focused, some are not, but I'm hoping that they can all be somewhat fun to play. That's the point. Anyways, what else do I need to keep you guys updated on? Working on the spell list. I got these tools. There's one other thing. Now, let me pull open the files again. Why can I add those? Oh, yes. That's right. The combat. That's what the thing was. I had to add a few extra lines, a few extra details, especially to the conditions page as more things began to unfold. So I'm hoping combat will flow a little bit more smoothly, as well as allow for more kind of adaptability. Is that kind of to flow smoother and feel more dynamic? There's a better way to say it, a more dynamic feel. Yeah, let's go with that dynamic feel and all that. I think that's about it for where I am right now. Like I said, next up is to kind of focus a little harder on the spell list. Maybe finish that up. And then, yeah, I got it. Like I said, maybe I do want to do something like little class overviews here before we move on to the actual early access slash alpha of all. But yeah, that's kind of where we are now. So feeling good. A pretty good week overall today. This is Reown the Rojko. Or I should say, thanks for watching. This is Reown the Rojko, signing off.